Be careful. So we're on the 75% of this new week opening gap high. And I'm pretty sure it's not this week's opening gap high, it's last week's, because this is this week's new week opening gap high. I didn't mark up the charts yesterday because I actually hurt my back pretty bad at work. So I have been resting, but I did want to, at least, look at the charts. I really don't like to miss a day. So we are here. This is this week's. So 2725, right? And then this is 29. Okay. Just so we know which one's which. We can fix that, put it here. I want to see how price is going to react to this level. I might just take these highs first and then come lower, maybe tap that high. Let's see. Or maybe it taps just at 75%. There's a volume imbalance there too. You know what? We're going to enter one small trade here. Stop loss at the highs. There. Just to see what happens in this area. There's a volume imbalance right here. That's a little gap, the orange area right there. So I'm just watching that orange area. I would ideally like to see it push price lower now that we have tapped it. And we're inside of this discount area. I want to see a ram through here. ICT says he does not want it to respect this level. It did tap it, but just because I respected it here now doesn't mean that it's going to do it again. So with ICT's commentary, I decided to enter here because ideally I want to see it respect that level and go lower. I'm even going to shift my stop loss a little lower because I don't see the point of it coming to these highs if it really wants to ram the lows. I think it was just to scare people who entered here or who shifted their stop loss already to break even. So let's see what happens. We will be targeting lower prices. I should have probably entered with 2 lots, but I didn't want to risk too much, especially if we get a nice trade here. We already are up $10 from the previous trade. Let me see where I put the table that I have. And I have to just update it real quick. Whoops, not lock. I want to anchor it because then it moves with me. Okay, so we're up currently 10 something on it. It was like 1085. And if this goes, hopefully, who knows. So 21,875. That's our entry level. And our stop loss is 21,889.75. I wouldn't be surprised if they go for London lows like here, but I don't know if that's what they're gonna want to do. It's looking like a market maker sell model on the way here too. Let's go on the daily real quick for us to take a gander. So it's very risky here, which is probably why ICT is telling us to be careful. As you guys can see, look at the candles and the daily candles and the price action. So we're inside of this new week opening gap from January. I think that was when the president, was putting up all the laws and the new taxes and everything. So I don't know if that had something to do with how the market reacted here. We were on a bearish trend and then we broke above it. However, you know how it is. Sometimes when we break above a trend, it's a fake out. And ICT did say he was targeting the lower levels here at one point, but we are very close to this buy side liquidity as well. So I do have alerts here. Um, I'm gonna delete that one. So this is just the buy side and the sell side from this level that we're in, because as you guys can see in the daily, we're kind of consolidating. So let's see on the hourly now. Hourly. Let's take off all the things just for us to see what's going on. So that's the buy side liquidity right here. That's the sell side liquidity. This is a gap, another gap that we have. So as you guys can see, we've been having a lot of gaps, which is probably why, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to remove all the drawings. Fuck it. We're going to remove all the drawings, and we're just going to mark up the levels that we know. Monthly high, monthly low, and I actually have to go to work, so we'll see what happens. We have this trade running. I'm just going to leave it running. If it stops us out, it stops us out. If it goes our way, it goes our way. You know what I'm saying? Um, it might fail. Take that high. Like you guys can see on the hourly, I'm right on that OB. I entered right at the high here. What I would love to see is for the price, the candle body of this candle to close here, equal to this one, and push lower and target this level here. We have a whole imbalance here from where price is currently at. See that? This is a bullish area of imbalance that now price has to retrace into if it wants to, unless it wants to target the highs, of course. So that's what we are pretty much looking at and waiting for. As you guys can see, we had this Asian session, got rated over here, then price rate went lower. This is this week's open, so I'll make sure to mark that up for you guys to see. So this was Friday's close. This was Sunday's open. And another thing that I want to know is we are inside of this bearish level right there. So minus, we tapped it, kind of seems like, and when I go into the smaller fair value gap, the smaller time frame, let me show you guys another thing. Now we're inside the smaller time frame, and inside of the smaller time frame, now we take our PDA level like this. Okay, 25%. Traded really slow, popped up there to the 0%, and then now we're coming lower. So maybe price did what it needed to do. Maybe that's why ICT said he does not want this level to be respected, because we already respected it, the 50%. So any move lower here is going to be resistance. So market is going to want to push price lower, like so. So we're here, price push to this level, the 25% level, it's going to push to the 50. From the 50, it might even push lower from the 50. From the 50, it'll push up here to this previous zone, and then it's going to push to the low, and then the 50%, and then the low. So that's what I'm watching for. So far, so good in this trade. I'm honestly trying to keep it really light, guys. I had posted a previous post like 2 weeks ago where I almost blew this account. And honestly, blowing an account is just mentally draining. And we really are working on reframing our mindset and just being more patient, you know? And sometimes we get excited because we have a winning trade, or we're doing good, or we see something and we think we got it, and then that overconfidence hurts me, So that's what we're watching. Keeping things pretty light, pretty simple. At this point, I don't really see why price would want to come to these highs. I am going to shift my stop loss a little lower. And I'll show you guys as well my short. So I shorted there. My stop is at the highs here. So it is currently 34 points or so that we're risking. And ideally, I am bearish. So I'm targeting the red area here. But if price wants to give me more, maybe I'll take it. I don't know. It depends because I do have to leave for work in a few. So I'm gonna have to wait and see how I feel then before I make that decision. But I would like to see price melt lower pretty quickly here. Honestly, if it gets to here, I might just take profit to like my bullish fair value gap area here. Simply because I have to get to work and I have already 55 bucks. If I make around 55, $75 a day when I trade, then I could probably pass this challenge by the end of this month or middle of March if things go well. But that all depends on our psychology. So I'm gonna mute myself here. I'm gonna let price do its thing, and we'll see what happens. I might shift my stop loss to break even. To be quite honest, I get afraid because when I do that, sometimes price does slap me out of it. Unfortunately, so sometimes I feel like leaving your risk wider might save your capital more than you think. So I'm gonna do this for you guys to see. This area here was a bullish area, right? We thought this would have been bullish. Nope. That was just a quick little to get people in. And then look at this. We have another area here that was disrespected. That is an inverse. And that's what we utilize to sell. That sell. Because we came and we made a lower high after this high took this high. And then the second high here, that was the entry inside of the inverse fair value gap. Right there. So ideally this candle here doesn't push higher from my eyes, from my perspective. I would like to see it just push lower from here. This red area, 21,865.25, that's the 25% PDA level of the bearish 4-hour fair value gap, SIBI. You guys notice how this black candle closed under the orange? Now this green candle can create a wick here. That's allowable. It's probably tapping inside of this area, inside of this OB. I don't like this. Okay, do not like that, but let's see. We do have a little SIBI here and an OB here. Let me just do this with the order block. Let's do something like this. Alright, stop loss is going to get shifted just because I don't like the price action here. And ideally, I don't see why price would want to pop above these highs again if we're to go lower. So we'll see you guys We have another OB here. That's what it tapped. That's why I put my stop loss above it. And ideally, we rush under that orange area now, if we are to go lower. This is the opposite of the other one, obviously. That's why we reacted to it. Let's do it like that. It's gonna rush to go under those lows now. Like so. I think, nah. But let's see. Now we have that OB. You see that next candle that opened under it, tapped it. Now it's coming lower. ICT told us to note the 10:05 a.m. VISI, which is this one. 1 minute VISI, which I already have it noted. That's what it's gonna go to. Reprice to breaker 21,875. So he's saying it repriced to this level here, which is your breaker right there. I don't know if it might stop me out still, guys. The breaker is still right there. It's right. My stop loss is literally right there at the 50%. So I don't know. Reprice to breaker 21,875 is the line in the sand. Yeah, that's why I put my stop loss at break even. Under that bearish, above it bullish. I want to see deeper discount personally. So ICT's saying he wants to see lower prices. And I agree because we are inside of this 4-hour fair value gap, which tapped it, wicked it, and formed this doji and then traded lower. So I'm watching how price reacts here. My stop loss is at break even, and I'm targeting these lows. If it gives it to me, I'm more than content with 377 points. The only reason I don't like to put a buy limit here is because if I get stopped out, then and price does trade to my buy limit and then keeps trading lower, then I'm effed. So what I'll do here is I'll add an alert where it says my take profit area hit. And I'm going to put an alert here too, just so I can have an alert beforehand so I can be prepared and maybe even shift my stop loss lower near take profit. There we go. So that's what we're doing for this trade. I will keep you guys updated on the outcome. But so far, we actually had a very good entry. I'm actually very proud of how we entered and how calmly we executed everything and our logic to how we're doing things. It just looks really clear. And now we're just going to wait and see. I am targeting these lows and even possibly London lows if I'm being quite honest. But that is quite a large target. And I don't have the luxury yet to watch it because I work and I have a 9 to 5 still. But that's okay. We'll see what happens. And yeah, maybe it'll get down here faster than we think. So I'll keep you guys updated on this trade. If you guys like the way I explained it, if you guys have any comments, if you guys like the video, share it down below.